they put more petrol inside the fire. By calling Sierra Leoneans terrorists, people that will choose for go out. Some of we now on this platform, we talk and clearly say, well, they ask Sierra Leoneans ignore the protest because you don't have 8-9 months, about 8 months towards election, so you're not worth it. And those people who are calling for let the president go, it not just make any difference now. Why will not go just make it go protest now the ballot box? This now something where we don't talk. And so, but I think sometimes the president can contradict himself. The president they shoot himself down the foot. The president, I mean, sometimes he they talk some misguided talk the way we say like he they only come back for on time. The president don't travel more than 150 times internationally. More than 150 times. And most of those travels, the president they tell people and say, if they go who investors, if they go look for investors. And at the same time, whenever protests take place in the country, whether it's on violence or whatever, the president when they can address the nation, whether locally, internationally, the president, what did they do? They call the people there as terrorists. Terrorism internationally now a very, very derogatory term. Now a term where white man no like any serious investor where you say a country they get terrorists there, in they go invest it. But this is the president, not to say no, but each time they address the world, they get opportunity for address the world, they address the people, they call the people and terrorists. And honestly, we're not support, we all are against the protest. But for let the presidents, they take on himself, they go BBC, they go Al Jazeera, also say, now terrorists, you get terrorists in the country. Believe me, it harm the country more than what in the think. Now, forget about what I say, not to say like at the paraphrase for him. Listen to what he say. BBC interview the president's bill on this.
Civilians as well. Police stations were burnt down. Public buses were also torched. It didn't spring from nowhere, and we'll explore the source of the anger and the violence in a moment with President Julius Maada Bio. But I asked him first what the situation was like at the moment.
Well, first, I definitely want to express my condolences to the families of those who have died in this unfortunate incident. It is calm and quiet now. It's been like this since yesterday evening. The security forces are fully deployed to make sure that there is no further deterioration in the situation. There are arrangements in place now to make sure that we improve on that situation. It is calm and quiet as I speak.
What are they saying, the security experts and the ministers in charge of the situation, about the underlying and overt causes of the violence?
Well, it could be political, and I think that is the thought at the moment. They have been putting pressure to come out and protest. Of course, what happened yesterday was definitely not a protest. It was terrorism at the highest. We have a few Sierra Leoneans who live in the diaspora who have threatened to unleash terror on Sierra Leone on several occasions. They will incite unemployed youth on this part in the country. And on several occasions, we've had these episodic eruptions of violence. And the other time it was in Lonsa, another town, and another time it was in Makeni, Tombo, and we've lost lives in most of these instances.
You say unemployed youth, which actually is an indication, isn't it, that people actually do have genuine reasons for anger, for feeling that they're not being heard and that their lives are becoming more and more difficult. So pointing to agitators seems to be denying that reality of Sierra Leonean youth and Sierra Leone people in general.
Definitely. There's hardship. We have unemployment. Most of the youths are unemployed. We do sympathize with their situation. And as a government, we have done quite a lot to address that situation. The free quality education, which involves technical education at all district levels, is all meant to empower them to be able to employ themselves or to make them employable. We are doing quite a lot to empower them in that direction. We've made education, access to education, free so that everybody is empowered. And it's also about inclusivity, making sure that every Sierra Leonean, any child born in Sierra Leone today, can have access to education. So that is going on at the moment. These are very expensive undertakings at a point when we know that the global economy is going through difficulties. But we have made that effort just to make sure that we equip our young people, place them in a position where they'll be able to gain employment.
But that is a very long-term strategic vision. The education of young people is a long-term strategic vision to turn things around. But right now, there's a massive cost of living crisis. And I grant you, of course, that's global in scope. But the joblessness, the youth unemployment, the overhang of COVID, all those are issues that confront people right now. They're hungry right now. What is your solution to that? They want government to solve those problems.
But definitely, these are genuine concerns, and that is the responsibility of government. What we have done is, since the onset of COVID itself, was to make sure that we try to cushion the effect of these trends on the people of Sierra Leone. We have waived virtually every tax on the essential commodities, making sure that they have been available all throughout, even with the price of fuel. We have adjusted only when it is necessary, and we have gone up when the prices on the world market have gone up, and we have immediately reduced those prices in the past 2 weeks twice, just to make sure that we reduce the impact on people. So we have done quite a lot to make sure that we cushion the effect of what is happening around the world. We are not using that as an excuse. Even with COVID, what we did was we custom-made our own interventions to the extent that we are completely different from what was happening around the world. We never declared 2 or 3 weeks disruptions at all. What we did was we had 2 periods during which we had to intervene, and we made sure that there were only 2-day interventions during that COVID time, just to make sure that we don't keep people indoor. During that time, we provided food for a lot of people, the disabled, and we provided also cash transfers to cushion the effect. So quite a lot of activities have been taking place from the side of government to just cushion the effect. And there's just so much government can do, taking into consideration the poor performance of revenue under the circumstances too.
You've outlined several measures there that your government has taken. It seems, though, that there is still grounds for people to feel that government can do more. Can you do more?
Under the circumstances, extremely difficult because revenue itself is not performing. As you know, we have supply chain disruptions, which have had an impact on the cost of virtually everything. And because of all of these, and because we have taken away, giving of all these waivers, the margins, fiscal margin is very, 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 very tight. And remember our commitment to this huge and ambitious but necessary project to provide education for every child in this country. That is a huge undertaking that is taking a large amount of money every month to make sure that we are providing school fees, we are providing textbooks, we are providing teaching and learning materials, we have provided transportation in most of the cities, we are providing feeding for other areas. And what we also have done is to do quite a lot in the area of agriculture, because we are looking at what is happening. It was not a protest, as you can see. 5 people were killed, hacked to death, and enough because we have gone as far as we can go, and we are also constrained.
One of your ministers, the youth minister, was on CNN earlier today, and he was laying the blame squarely on the opposition APC as the real cause of the protests, the ones pulling the strings. Do you support that view?
I have said earlier that there is a political undertone to what is happening. It was not a protest, as you can see. 5 people were killed, hacked to death, and in the crudest of ways.
But the opposition party, the APC, has said that they have had nothing to do with this.
Yes, that is what they would normally say, but almost all of those involved are from the party.
Now, in the CNN interview, the youth minister was asked where you, Mr. President, were, and his reply was that you were missing in action, MIA. You were abroad in the UK when these protests erupted. Now, many in Sierra Leone say that in spite of the hardships that they are experiencing, you keep going on expensive foreign visits, and they say there's very little to show for these trips. Would you consider curbing these trips in solidarity with the people that are experiencing hardship in your country?
As head of state, there are essential trips to make. Whatever happens, I'm getting ready to co-chair at the United Nations General Assembly with the United Nations Secretary General. I was at UNESCO just a little over a month ago. These are essential services.
All right, so Fambul, that was President Bio where they talk the key interview to the BBC. Mind you, this is now one of the most widely listened network broadcasting service. For let you go international, they say we get terrorist attack. This now the service it do to himself because it scared away potential investors. Believe me or not, you can do the research any side. Big companies and they either what's a terrorist in this country because I mean, life just puts on logic. Not just make a lot just use logic. You go take your money, you okay and go outside and no way no say it not stable fire did it. You go take your money, go put on it. The word terrorism, nothing where the president not for even they use international. But each time you get opportunity for listen to the address we address to the people and well listen back the speech what he just make and you can't see what's happening. You know, like the president, he don't get many opportunity for let he able address issues there in the most matured, most common way we are like the most decent manner where some people then go look at and some kind of yeah, it makes sense. It starts a conversation fine, it's all fine, but he end up for dirty water, just like most of his speech way they make. The thing is, the people, most of the people away go so the entire the hardship it's real in Sierra Leone. The cost of living, it's a admit to that. So for let you know, say there is an issue, though you go back internationally, go say you now you get terrorists there. The protesters, they are terrorists, they are not protesters. Then I think say they do more harm. And worst case scenario, I see even revenge they take place. This is not the blame game. The reason why President Bio failed the country of Salon, it's because President Bio, they take responsibility. And a weak leader no more they always defend person for blame. This is a common thing. If you are strong, you accept responsibility. If you fail the person, the country, not so you want to begin fail weak. We know that. Apologize and say, I'm sorry, I thought I would be able to fix your issue, but unfortunately, because of XYZ, please, Sierra Leone, and forgive me. You can pass on the baton to another person. But each time President Bio gets opportunity for talk to Sierra Leoneans, say, na blame, excuse, na blame. And not so. This was the president who tell we say, they can't fix the issues there. He tell me say they can't fix the issues there. And that make we be elected. I mean, look at what it, I mean, this revenge politics. The reason why people they look at and say, we not gonna forget no side for good before, it's because any president we can, particularly these two parties, APC, SLPP, now revenge. When President Bio come, check all the parastatals say, all the people, the army, the police, check all and say 80% of in cabinet na the people. How can you do that? That are the first strategic failure of the president. That I make the president Bio if failed the Salon people woefully. You can't do that. I don't get problem with the Mende people there. Now me and brothers, and now me and sister, now me uncle, and now me auntie there. Now we on people there. But you know go tell me say all the position there, all the technocrats there, the educated people in Mende there. It's wrong. You can't run a country like that. You're not able to succeed. The army, you prop there with your tribesmen there. You go to the police, now they're the top ranking. They are know the security. Okay, security you can choose. But what about the other areas there? And worst case now, like the event politics, the people them traders in Abacha, what did them do? They broke their table because they suspect and say these are people that will take part by the protest. Forget about that say. And you find out say government officials then team up publicly, they talk about say when they go broke. They use the security state apparatus. That one alone for us, maybe go able to sit down on terrorism. You will see that terrorism because person livelihood, they come to Tanga. Everybody knows a salon Tanga right now. Who say people and they go eat, Makituma them, widows them, Ebola don't kill some, COVID don't kill some. So now they without if you know what a batcha for go eat, for go sell, you know they get in for eating and picking them. People are so wicked, then go book them tools and the table them. They say because they suspect and say and take part party. What kind of level of wickedness now? What kind of type of wickedness now? Then booked him and no make no arrest for that. Forget about what I said. Listen to this gentleman, this riffraff, because I don't call him gentleman. You know go broke person. Usa they eating Lily and Natty with his family. Though they come back publicly, they say they go on the next day. Listen, this riffraff.
Yes, we don't now Kisiwo the security there. In fact, all them table them, we don't talk say they broke all team. Them table all the candle. As they talk, they are now. They are now na Kisiwo. They wait to yeah. Yes, we don't now Kisiwo the security there. In fact, all them table them, we don't talk say they broke all team. Them table all the candle. As they talk, they are now. They are now na Kisiwo. They wait to yeah.
All right, Fambule, Leona just see. What's in the mark? What people say people and go survive. You see the anger that when you solve a problem, you get to look at the root cause of the problem. If you not solve the root cause of any problem, you are just there wasting your time. If President Biodo acknowledge internationally say there is hardship in the country, then you get people there. When a member of the SLPP, member of the government, they are destroying people's livelihood, source of livelihood. Because na den table and they will sisters, they will brothers, they will bamboo and they go sit down and sell and get the little and nothing. And man, they go back or publicly they go talk say they go to the next place. What's kind of wicked now? I make this Leoneans now we not the problem. Now we not the Satan to ourselves. Now we not the Satan. Now bring you can quickly, Doc. Unfortunately, you don't see this clip. How you feel? Are we as Sierra Leoneans? Are we not doing more than? Is this not to be the enemy to ourselves? Because how you would I give that authority for let somebody to go broke person in marketplace? This not clear revenge. We don't see throughout this government. Revenge is the order of the day. What they can now revenge, and revenge is never going to solve Sierra Leone problem. We have to think as one people. We have to think country first. We get for use of common sense. It hurts me because it so hurts me that I don't know how to put it. It so hurts me. This is not pure wickedness. And you're not pushed on the aside. Now we come to the area where President Biode say essential trips and this is not state visit. If he will bring down waiting Chairman Obasi, the president, now private visitor, look how much take na salon people. You see? This na private visit. See how much the president of Salon take from people. $178,000, $350.60. Now, the president take from Salon people, he say they go on a private visit. We're not responsible for the private for the president in private visits. Now that make the BBC reporter where they interview, you see, why you not go just then excessive, why you not go just curb then excessive traveling here in solidarity with the suffering of the people of Salon. What he say? He say they are essential trips. How many essential trips that don't change Salon people's life? How many jobs? The president don't fly more than 158 times, but the same time, when the president get opportunity for address the nation, it say that terrorists will get terrorists in that country. These are not the issues there. Believe me, Salon people they are decent people. I know say you get some bad accent actually where you always when opportunities there. But you know what I'm saying? Majority or all the people who will go on and then go there with an act just because they hate the government. Because the government not they perform. The government not they perform. We understand that is a global issue. Don't get me wrong here. But the manner in which the president they address the issue, they put more fire inside the fire. They put more petrol inside the fire. The things and they get things and they. I mean, are not able to consolidate any sort of like a common understanding between the electorates where they are so angry. People in they look for the bread and butter. When these presidents come, based on the manifesto, they say they fix the issue in 6 months. Now, bread and butter are the issue. And now, people in bread and butter, who started to go from bread and butter, then they broke the table there because they suspect and see, then take part. How you go? How peaceful in the country? How? If you say if you use force for cool down force, the result will be the same. The result will turn back another force. You cannot use fire for hot fire. You're not going to use fire for hot fire. No, you have to use common sense. Now, apart from that, and at the 10 Salon people, from what we get reliable facts behind the closed doors, people and they go all na the house, take them, carry them, go na Benghazi. People and they go take na the house, some then kill them, from which we don't understand. And we get some videos there, low place on clip for the where then they praise this guy, Lima, then they praise Lima. And this is not a mistake. Why are they saying a mistake? Because, I mean, this now, and a young man, he endanger himself, he endanger in family as well. Maybe, of course, an ex-soldier man, maybe in life no value. But, I mean, we don't know how this situation they play. Take a listen about, listen this.
Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs. Now in this now on, they on patrol, they don't pass 12. They go 1 o'clock. They don't can check him right now. If your mama okay, he hold the city tight. Mr. Minister, sir. Mr. Minister, sir. I know say only gone. See how? Maybe only gone live and direct. So no bush shaking. The left pound now, now wait, now come on no more. We know the Lima. Okay? They don't catch check your mind. If I'm okay, I say okay. So they are right now. And thank you. I'm not afraid of all man go there and sleep. I'm early morning. Go do it for do ya. Thank you very much.
All right. So this is Sierra Leone. From what we get and from the other sources who they get, they say now that they go look for people house to house. And you see Lima Imama, the video, then they laugh. Can you imagine? They laugh. But then they say who laugh the best. Now that then they laugh. Salon people and go for be the last people and for laugh, and that will be the most sweetest one. The country they in a very, very difficult situation right now because the president no gets wisdom. The president don't lost the wisdom. The president don't lost the sense of responsibility. The president don't lost the trajectory. The president don't lost the confidence of the people. The president don't feel, instead don't know, say, he don't lost the trust of the people of Salon. So as a result, you know, not to wait for do again. And look at the allegations, another serious allegation where now then they go after the opposition. When these governments come, one of the reasons make them fail because they take all their arsenal, all their energy, all their sabi, then turn onto the opposition. Failing that, they were elected with the promises, a lot of huge sugar-coated promises that they will come and fix the economy, fix the bread and butter issue, then focus all their attention. Now they don't lost strategy. Now, when this issue up and they don't lost track. Now, when this issue happen now, they don't focus entirely to the opposition. Now, there is a threat going on that say the mayor of Freetown, I know they are for defender, you understand? I know they show some of the miscalculation what the government don't do throughout. The government able to get the things right. Then they accuse the mayor saying now one of the people, Dr. Samuel, now one of the people who then will potentially arrest. Listen, the mayor of Freetown, what you for say.
Yvonne Akisoya. I can't talk to Nat today because last night, immediately after His Excellency the President been delivered in speech to the nation, the Minister of Information, members of the Strategic Communication Unit, and the Presidential Press Secretary then hold a panel discussion. I've been finding them very deeply disturbing, very, very troubling, for like once again on that national platform, they name me and accuse me falsely of inciting the protest. I want to say this practice, because not to the first time they don't do them, of continuously falsely accusing me on national platforms, now a very, very wrong and troubling action. I want to say I roundly condemn the violence will lead to the protest, and for say I not get no hands in incitement or the organization of the protest. For lay official government spokespeople, then they continuously call me name in this regard, very wrong. It don't already lead to attacks on me on social media and attempted attacks on property of Freetown City Council. But this not too about me. Last week, or rather this week earlier, because the week just done, we don't see so much suffering. People then lost their life. People then day in hospitals. People then, an increasing number, in fact, of people, they be detained, and I understand, say, people, then detainees them not get access to legal representation. And in not done we also see market woman them and man them, we overnight lost in source of livelihood, where their market table them be destroyed. The suffering this week, don't boku, and my heart go out to all man where they suffer, and may the souls of the one that we lost in life rest in peace. With times then challenging, it's important for let we come together and foster a spirit of unity, for bring people then come together, not to for pull them apart. As the mayor of the city, I stand against violence and I stand for peace. And I appeal to everybody for continue, for listen words of peace and abstain from violence. The challenges then wait day, not challenges wait for be addressed, but that no mean to say if will lead to violence. I stand for peace, I stand for Freetonians, and on this final note, I want to say to we all, I committed as a Sierra Leonean for stand for peace and justice in this nation, and also as a mayor.
So now the mayor back when it just tried for buttress with us see people their livelihood, their source of I don't know how we so wicked. We so wicked to we self now make God self can just ignore we. It can just left we low this tried it. How you go broke somebody? I mean, these are poor women. Some of them are widows, and some of them get picking them for take care of. You go broke and you come back live on air, they bluff. So we don't go broke. And security forces are also there. Who gave those instructions? Who gave those orders? We need to know this. This for me now. This are the terrorism because they terrorize people. Angry, no, angry. Now one of the most. I go put up most painful experience more time. Angry. We know what's not angry. People we're not Muslim, they will they keep fast 30 days. We know what's not angry. And even if you're not a Muslim, where some people are coming from a deprived home, maybe sometimes pass it 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, so my go there throughout the day they will eat. We all know because a salon will come out. We know what's not hungry. If somebody not go sell, some of them will not go sell. Believe me, they're not getting for it. Now you don't deprive them who started the it in the name of politics. And now we look at say we go for unite this. After that, the president can go back na radio and say these are terrorists. You know. And the video where they go around, where you and me, if we not team up for this country, if we not play one beat, we'll not go get a country we call Salon stable. Because whatever they use for the authorities them, and knows the authorities then they instruct the army them for go out na the street now, they fire live rounds, live like saying na with about war, like war. Forget about me words, la play for na the clip put and send to me. Just a moment. La play. Quick now. Leoneans say, oh, the city of Freetown, live firing are part of the net where they go and look for people there. Take a look at this. It's so serious now, the country.
Live bullets. Live bullets. Live bullets. Live bullets. Kisi Road live bullets. Kisi Road live bullets.
You see it, man? How long gone?
Yes. Live bullet. You see, I'm at them so. And then they put that white Land Rover so. You see, see the soldier man. See, live bullet. You don't see? And I don't see international community. Have you seen it? This is a live bullet. You see the military man. He's on the open white van. You see them? Live bullets. This is seriously a peaceful protest. A very peaceful protest have resulted to this due to the government lacking the interests of the people of Leoneans. You see them, they are going now. You see them, you see them, you see them. This is a live bullet shooting. Military personnel are shooting. You see them. You see them. You see them. They are shooting. You see them. You see them. They are shooting. Live bullet. Live bullets. You see them. They are now going. They are now going. You see them. They are still shooting. They are still shooting. Sierra Leone. They are still shooting. They are still shooting. They are still shooting. You see them? They are still shooting. They are still shooting. They are still shooting. You heard them? You heard them? They are still shooting. They are still shooting.
So, family, I don't see. Are we at war? It's not like war. We didn't war. Police, soldier man, then an open van, they fire live bullets. Now, you know, people there. They sent for me a couple of them videos there, and there's one back where they sent for me where they accused Lima of taking people from their home and then bring them at the streets I don't want to bring her now because I still up and check. I still up and check, forget the fact. Because in this platform, we don't make we own sort of policy that anything we bring Kaya will get for verify. When I see this in the streets of Freetown, I go check about the Leoneans. If not true, say yes indeed. From host to host, say they go put people in, fire them in the streets, go bury them in net. The country we no know. We don't know how they go. We don't know. We all get responsibility. It feels like God. All right, let's take few texts them. This one they come out from Mohammed Kamara. We say freedom of speech and democracy has departed from our country. This one they come out from Aminata Kamara. We say this is not good for our country. And this one they come on. Let we just take two more. Let we take two more. This one they come out from Mohammed Kamal. Said due to the president's answers, even in the interview, already know that the president cannot handle the current situation, and he is not he's not fit to be a leader of the nation of a nation. All right, and Lord, just take one more text and we try for analyze. And this one they come up from Abdul Chala, who say it's really a pity that different people lost their lives during the protest. Anyway, all right, thank you guys for your text. Now this we get time for. I don't know, Doc, you they hear me?
Yeah, I get you. I know at this street now. But I go able to talk. Yeah, I know go
All
able to
right.
the camera on the noise,
We almost
but I go able
there.
to talk.
Yeah, what now you take, of course, you don't see some of the ash videos and the president's statement. The president don't accuse Sierra Leoneans one more time as being terrorists. What does this mean for the general well-being of the country? We see and say like a more divisive than even inclusive.
Well, I think say me go just first of all like for express me profound condolences to the people that we lost their life, both civilians and the law enforcers, them, the police, because at the end of the day, we are all Sierra Leoneans, and me go just caution both the government and Sierra Leoneans, fellow Sierra Leoneans, as a people for make we continue for sure restraint and make sure say we not go down the drain of we civil war days them. You understand? We know how many thousand of Sierra Leoneans them die. We lost their life for nothing. We also as a nation know some of the root causes them will lead we to that civil war, sort of tribalism and poverty and corruption and injustice, you understand? And it day on the onus of every other government everywhere in the world for provide for you people them and make sure say peace and stability and security is enhanced. So I mean, I think for me, I just believe say we need for turn down the rhetoric as a nation, and as government officials them now we debate them and expect say when they go on a news channel then now they make sure say the message for be all about unity and we calm down the rhetoric instead of the finger pointing and name callings, you understand? Of course, in my mind, I have no doubt that in any democratic state, people should be allowed to demonstrate, to protest. But of course, we Nayana this channel come out and advise people not to go out. We know tomorrow remand them, you understand. But anybody really watch waiting to happen a salon, anybody we ready for learn from history, they exactly know whose side this get for waiting this get for lead to. You understand? Unnecessary loss of lives, because we know say for the most part we security sector they are always there to protect those who are in power, the mighty at the moment. And whether it's a peaceful protest, whether it's a protest that turn violent, we know say for the most part innocent lives will be lost. And one Sierra Leonean life lost, now lost to be all, because We don't know waiting that somebody waiting I mean that somebody the way they go down prospect, waiting if we be able to deliver for we do for we as a people. In my mind, I have no doubt that to some extent, in as much as Sierra Leoneans them, we angry, people are frustrated, there is joblessness, there is grotesque level of unemployment and corruption going on at the country, where people get right for express them dissatisfaction for through peaceful means. But again, there is in my mind no doubt say people and also where they spread insightful messages, some of which not even they in Sierra Leone need for stop and put Sierra Leone first. Because I believe in this mantra, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you spread insightful messages then today against somebody else, tomorrow when you save day, somebody else will spread insightful message against you. There will be no peace. So in my mind, I believe say people them for be patriotic and stop insightful messages like messages them for go born state house or messages of tribal hate. But for me, I believe say this now also a big lapses to the government and the security sector. In as much I believe and an advocate of free speech, people and for be able for give dissenting voice and opinion, but I believe say them for doing within the confines of the law. Whoever they whatsoever country, and this not to one person, where they out there and they cause insecurity for Sierra Leone as a nation. I believe say as a nation, if they respect we developing partners them through bilateral and multilateral organizations them like Interpol and foreign service diplomatic means, I believe for say we for being able to portray and show evidences them say X, Y, and Z na a national security threat to we. We don't need Leona extradite the person. Possibly the person then I citizen of una country and we not get such bilateral agreements of extradition. But please caution this person. You understand and be diplomatic for make sure say people them not spread insightful message. But I believe say I think we get a civil service commissioner or council, national civic council or something like that, and civil society organizations them. I believe say as a nation we get for be proactive. We don't hear people that want go on the street. We know say people and feel disenfranchised, people and feel disgruntled. Then for be don't go out there to people and make sure say you understand the needs of the people. You go down to the layman, talk Creole. We don't need them big press release the way they go to quote for we and big figures. People are hungry. Boys then they do and woke. You go na Dove Court, na places the way me grow up. You understand? See, youth man them for way forget prospect. They do woke. Go na the entire base and make sure say una get down to youth man them, push youth man them. If even I for go do how you call contractor and building materials, make sure say we able to attract investors. It's not only about having a strategic unit, then sit down na television stations them and quote numbers and quote who say we don't go into GDP, who say we don't claim in the corruption index. Those are bullshit. Una go talk Creole and reach out to the people and find out what's in the people they go through. An hungry man is an angry man. If somebody in mind is filled in belly full, he wake, you know, say I for sleep 10 o'clock because I get for wake 5 o'clock for go drag, for go also, also they get me leading and nothing. That person they nobody not go able to take advantage of them at the end of the day because so many people they not feel so disillusioned with system, they're not go listen to person. But if somebody they speak to waiting exactly the people in the field, then people just get for go on the street. But we just they advise people and say, I believe say civil society of organizations themselves for lobby make we change with public order act for let people able get peaceful assembly, peaceful demonstrations, you understand? But most importantly, I believe say with security sector, we police them. They need training. They need training of how for control riots, of how for maintain law and order. no sign no dey na we constitution wey give say if somebody na a criminal or if somebody even wan commit espionage or overthrow, you for just shoot am and kill am extrajudiciously as stand to be corrected. No sign no dey in our constitution. So I believe say police should not be using live bullets on people, whether they are throwing stones or not. Police should not be shooting randomly, and people wey even sit down at them balcony or inside them palace them as stray bullets they go meet them. It should not be. Now you fellow Sierra Leoneans that you dey shoot. Likewise, protesters them for no say police are not our enemy. I make for understand say police done the 1 year to 13 months they don't even get them bag of rice. Now we only suffer, now we brother them, you understand? In how many Sierra Leoneans them they feel say some people incite the youth. Now the same way I get to believe in say politicians also the misuse with security sector. Because if you not give somebody in bag race for 12 months and 13 months, we could scarce come on and expect them for day before for sacrifice their own life or for shoot and kill innocent people for unayon selfish gain. But I believe say the government get for be magnanimous for cut and short and make sure say then turn down the rhetoric. It's not about calling names of people be terrorist or what. Waiting don't happen. We just get for land from that. Make sure say then look deep down, because this is a complex and multifaceted issue. They look deep down the root causes of waiting all happen. You understand? Part of it when an incitement, part of it when a genuine economic hardship, and make sure say we able to address the issues then. But I'm afraid if we continue as a nation for point finger and name calling, this is not going to stop, and it's not good for us.
Right, thank you very much, Doc. And I think Lord just because since we wrap up now, this I think one sorry, Bangura don't they feel like say we know they read text, and I just want make and think this now a civil, matured, responsible platform. If somebody puts some invectives here, some harsh words, we'll not go just read that. So text and they will read some text and they will go definitely go just person will use this platform for spread hate or hatred or divisive words. Now this we they against. So this one they come up from Soriba will say it's objective in an argument to talk on point, not by supporting one side. Thank you for your opinion, and this now that's we they are for. Everybody getting rights for send you texts in the sense that you get for be in line with what they talk, something where consistent with the topic and respectful and get a point. We go read them, but again, if you bring context where offensive, you try for cost policy, we're not going to definitely read an aya. And I'll just want to tell you plenty thank you. Maybe we'll just take this one aya. This one they come up from Isai will say, mind you, Adebayo don't belong to any political party, so be mindful of your language. Well, we're not here for we're not even call names there. We're not call names there. Definitely say person there. This, in fact, we don't come out many times now. We not in support of Adebayo. That make we not ever bring interview ourselves at this platform.
I think probably maybe they respond to somebody in the comments. I don't know, because I don't think now we don't mention Adebayo and anybody in particular. And we just not say people in the inside.
Yes,
that we know. Government gets responsibility, but we not just get for denying the fact say awful or use them they go ahead. But we not there for calling. But I believe saying somebody else they respond to.
I believe so. So family, we turn up plenty. Thank you. I think I don't know if you get any 1-2 word again for art.
What I go say, let's Sierra Leoneans them make we continue for all the peace. Make we know say we don't come out, one or the pay. Make sure say we be law abiding citizens, and we love ourselves. We forget about party business and tribalism, and make sure say we all stay safe out there. And so the government, I just go say let them be magnanimous and make sure say they work for the interest of every other Sierra Leoneans. It's not about ash rhetoric. It's not about calling revenge. It's not about name and finger pointing. It's about delivering. And I get a mandate for work for the people of Sierra Leone, eradicate poverty, corruption, maintain law and order, and peace and tranquility. And we are able to achieve all those things when, as a nation, we are united, and the government gets a big role for make sure say we are united.
Thank you very much. So, family, now we'll come back on Wednesday with another broadcast. And don't forget, if you and whenever you church now YouTube, we get to channel there. We want on plenty. Thank you. We see with subscription they go up. We don't get more than 1,000 people that we don't subscribe lately. Promising channel where they go, and they are not forget for share, not forget for subscribe. Now free. Now one way we serve, they contribute for spread the message. This now we all responsibility. This now one of the platform where we feel select we open up to all Sierra Leoneans, and we not get anything one-sided here. Just like Fola just correct that gentleman, we just say we talk one-sided. No, this is not to the platform where they one-sided. No, we always try for put country first and objective. The only thing no more about we people nobody know we control here. Some of we all in we truth. We talk the truth like our see, not the painter. We are say how to talk because we have not been sponsored behind the scene. We're not gonna nobody the sponsor we. We're not gonna nobody the sponsor we. All right, so family, I turn up plenty. Thank you. Until then, my name is Mohamed Kabo. Bye bye.